Beautiful, cold, and wintry day. Headed into work. So for the last 2 days, I have been very sick with what I believe is the flu, and so brings me to today's message. We live in a society that really frowns upon taking time off, calling off, being sick, missing work. Most of us work the majority of our lives, and most of the time that we spend is at work. So it's important to remember that taking off when you're sick is not only a responsible thing to do for yourself and your health, it is also responsible for others, for many others. If you are sick and you go into work, and let's say you produce that day or the next day, let's say you never actually have to call off, you just push through. But then four, five, six, seven, eight other people, maybe more, end up having to call off because they can't make it in. How much productivity did you actually add to your workplace? And so, again, our culture here in the United States is just work to the bone and work your ass off and never call off work and be the 100% attendance person, be the person that always performs at 100%. And it's just not realistic, and it's really not acceptable because what you get from that is burnout. You actually get less production with that. You actually get more stress, anxiety, and ultimately less productivity from that type of work environment. And I think, during COVID, we saw that productivity up from remote work because people want to have a little bit of individuality and ability to be flexible within their schedule and not be confined to a workspace or a building for 9, 14, 20 hours a day, 5, 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, depending on what jobs you do. They just want to be able to, schedule their life and maybe, go do this appointment and then get back to work, etc. And for a lot of places, that's possible to do. I think really for every place it's possible to do. Harder at some places than others. But again, most importantly, is like we commit most of our time in this life to a job. So it is important that we give some of it back to ourselves and our families by taking the time that's needed for our health, whether that be, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and especially for our wellness and our health. And so these 2 days of being sick, man, it's been ingrained in me, you know, over a lifetime that you just go, you just push, and you know, you sound great, it's like heroic and all these things, but man, when you really think about the impact that it has and how many other people it affects and how many other people have to be sick because of pride and ego, um, kind of puts a different perspective on it. So hopefully that gives some insight. Again, make sure to take time for yourself, rest up, and do something good for yourself, and it will also do something good for some others. Stay lavish.